Do you think counting on POD at these times is a good idea for a long career?
I would say
Would you-
never at any time, because never put all your eggs in one basket.
That's good advice.
I think June has some really good perspective on this, because you've done this since 2005, if I remember correctly, right?
That's right. Yeah.
What's your take on this?
OG.
Yeah. I think, well, here's my take. I think anything can be a good career. Like, we see people on Shopify that's done it, that does really well. We see people on Amazon that's doing it, that does really well. We see people that's on Etsy that's done it, that's done really well. I know the question is about these times, right? Like, so the idea is like, because maybe we live in this time where the economies, we don't know, we're unsure, but really, I think anything can work. There's no real guarantees that it's going to work. Like, you could have a 9-to-5 too, and that could go away, right? Like, there's really no guarantees anywhere. So there's no like guarantee that if you're going on POD, that you will be as successful as these other people and you'll have a very long career in print on demand. It is possible, absolutely, because other people have done it, but there's no guarantees for it. You're gonna have to try and see if it works. Yeah.
Same with YouTube. Like, sometimes YouTube could just cut off your monetization, which has happened to me before, and then just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta roll. You gotta kind of roll with it and learn and grow and pivot and like do different things, right? Because there's literally no guarantees. And so to say that, should I count on POD at this time for a long career? I mean, I wouldn't count on anything, but there is a chance that it could work. And if it doesn't, then you need to learn how to pivot and do something. But
I think POD in itself being a long-term thing is definitely there, because people like AI is not going to replace people wearing clothing. And the print on demand model is a growing version of wearing clothing, right? It's a growing industry.
Yeah, and we've seen the charts, right? POD is supposed to be like that. Yeah. Can you write it?
I think the way the POD career works will shift. Well, it does always shift with time. Like, marketplaces fall off or rise, or whatever happens. This, like, Amazon obviously is in a bad situation right now with the discounts. Like, that's a real struggle. But I think you're going to have that in especially right now because of the economy. You're going to have that in many spaces. So that's why, coming back to what May said, is really good. Is don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Have alternatives. But long term, in general, I think POD will stick around. It will just change its shape or its model, in a sense. How people practice it.
And I just think, like, the phrasing of the question is a really interesting one, because I don't really see it as a career. I don't think any one of us really does, because, like, this is that type of creative type of way to make a living. Because I had this discussion with a community member earlier this morning in the community, and I've seen this across people doing like artists doing music, or songwriters, and this seems to be the case with any creative business, and that's that you are really slaving away at that specific, like songwriters. Some songwriters are like they've sit in studios for like 10 to 12 hours a day just to make songs, or the thing that I've found when I saw this was that, okay, in order to make a creative life work and to have a creative business, you need to have several income streams. In order to have several income streams, you need to get really good at a single one and then diversify once you're really good at the single one. So for me, that was hitting 7 figures with Etsy and print on demand. Then I started to head out to YouTube. I have definitely not mastered YouTube. And for 2 years now, over 2 years, I've just been all in to just learn that and get really good at that. And once I get good at that, I can pivot to the next thing, which will be music, but only when I'm really good at YouTube. So I think the key thing is to not think of it as a singular career, more of it like a creative life and a creative business. In order to have a functioning creative life and a creative business that is not inducing stress, I think we all just need to have, at the end of it all, the goal of having several income streams once we master one.
Yeah, definitely don't take this advice as like the shiny object excuse. Just do 10 things at once and try and make them work.
Yeah.
Do note that
That's
like
true.
I worked on just POD only that and nothing else for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
From 2022 to 2024. And with YouTube, I've done this since 2024, and I'm really deep into that, and I'm not nowhere near as good as I need to be in order to go to something else. So you can only go to something else once you've hit the figures that you actually want to hit. Otherwise, you still need to just focus on one thing.
That's cool. And I think as you do those things, you bring the thing that you learn, like that can be your superpower. Now you're really good at POD, and you can transfer that into YouTube, and so you can bring your expertise to the YouTube space, what you learned there, and then
Or a tool.
stand out, and stand out
Yeah.
that way, because
Exactly.
now you have that on top of not what everybody from YouTube has, right? Because you have a little extra thing that you've learned. So.
Exactly, because they stack on top of each other.
Yeah.
So my idea is that when I master content and how it actually works, that's when I pivot to music, because then content won't feel overwhelming like it does now. Because then I can just focus on the music, which I've done since I was a kid, and just have fun. And still like have to challenge myself with the content, but I would still know it so deep since I've already done this full time now for 2 years. So
That's good.
they all stack.
Yeah. And you want it to be a little bit of a challenge so that you get better at it. If it's just boring and not a challenge at all, then you might not even want to pursue it or do it.
Yeah.
So it has to be a little bit of a challenge so that you learn and grow and all of that. So
Exactly, because purpose comes from like growth. If we think of in Tony Robbins terms, because I really resonate with that. The growing feeling is really, the growing feeling is really a fulfilling type of feeling.
Yeah, you want to feel fulfilled for sure.
Yeah.
So it's not just about chasing the thing that will give you the most money or thing. So it's kind of a longer answer, but
the chase is the growth to like evolve as a human being in the different levels. Because at one level, I think when you have mastered it all and you've worked so hard, I think the harder thing is to take a step back and find balance to see where it all fits in your life. Where does work fit? Where does relationships fit? How do I balance it all so it feels correctly in my own bones?
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think POD can fit with some people. I don't think it fits with everybody. You have to like try it and see if it works for you. And do you like actually doing these things? Because if you don't and you're just doing it for the money, then I think you might quit before the actual money part gets going. Because
it's like the difference between people who I'm starting POD versus this is a nice method to be creative online.
Exactly.
Like I know like from artist friends of mine who are like actual like painters, for example. So they would have a painting of theirs that is sold for 1,000 or 2,000 euros, and they would use print on demand to have like 10 canvases like printed from their work that will be priced lower. And that was just a way for them to make more money from one painting, as well as make their art more accessible to a different type of clientele. They were not starting the day thinking, I really want to make money from print on demand. They're like, no, I want to expand something within my, I think like most of them were using Squarespace back then. I think like Squarespace is fairly marketed very well to physical artists. So for them, it was like, I can just slap on, add on Printful, Awkward Styles, whatever, and just connect it and add a bit more revenue from the same thing. Or even
they
like
love the creative.
Or even doing like their works on like, pillows or notebooks and stuff like that. But again, there is a big difference between someone like, I really need money, I need to do print on demand, I need it to work, which most likely it's not gonna. Because in that space, I feel like, when you want to do it just for the money, you're gonna need money.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to need money for the ads. You're going to need money for coaches. You're going to need money for a bunch of stuff. But if you're doing it from a creative outlet, and again, like if you're really connected with your niche, you can come up with things to put on t-shirts or slogans that ChatGPT can't even think about and no one can think about. So your connection to it is much deeper. It feels more fulfilling to sell something like this. And at the end of the day, if you're really connected to the niche, print on demand is just one thing you can do, because you can also do a bunch of other things. And I've seen people who started a YouTube channel to talk about their niche in order to sell more print on demand products and ended up getting monetized and having sponsorships on YouTube, not caring about print on demand. Or people who started, doing stuff on YouTube, it didn't really work, but then they're like, oh, maybe I'll take my information and put it on KDP as a book. So it's just about loving the topic of what you do. And if you have several topics, then again, that's where we come to several stores, I guess.
Good work.
But just treating it as just, I'm doing print on demand because I want money. I like just print on demand is a career. Print on demand is a method. The career is selling. Like
I would describe it as a way to monetize creativity. This clip was taken from a 2-hour live stream where he went over a ton of additional subscriber questions as well, including how to get free marketing traffic to your listings, how to target competitive niches to still get sales in them in 2026. We also talked about what the best AI upscaler is for POD right now, and we did a recap of our Q1 numbers in terms of t-shirt sales. If you want to see the full thing, just click on this thumbnail right here.